You should know that 45 nanometer chips seem to respond a lot more to CPU VTT or CPU termination voltage changes than they do to CPU V-core increases. That varies from chip to chip, but it's been my experience that the 45 nanometer quads like a little bump in termination voltage. You can see I've raised my MCH core, which is the north bridge, from 1.1 to 1.3 volts. It's actually a fairly mild bump in voltage. You can actually increase this all the way up to 1.5 safely if you have some good case cooling. 1.3 is really all I need. In fact, I could lower it a little bit. No need to mess with MCH reference or MCH DRAM reference for advanced overclockers, really. ICH IO, that's your south bridge voltages, ICH IO and ICH core. In extreme front side bus overclocking, say 500 megahertz or more, you might need to bump up this ICH core, but I've found no need to. I leave it at normal. I have my memory set to 2.1 volts because that's what it likes, and that's it. Those are my settings. There's a ton more settings to learn. Like I told you guys in the beginning, 90% of this crap I don't even realize what it does, but it hasn't kept me from getting a kick-ass overclock out of this Q9450, and I could probably get it up to 3.7 or 3.8 gigahertz if I tried hard enough. But 3.5 seems to be the magic spot as far as voltage and heat goes. And so, sorry about that. Just to show you that this does actually work, I'm going to save and exit. Set up. Of course, my machine's going to shut down and then restart because I made some changes to the voltage. Anytime you make a change to voltage or front side bus speed, you'll notice that the machine will actually power itself off for a couple of seconds and then power itself back on. This is the normal way that P45 chipset machines do, and P35 did too. So, and we're loading Windows. Okay, so here you can see I've booted into Windows just to show you guys. Intel quad core Q9450, 1.328 volts, which is actually just under the 1.3675 that I actually set in the BIOS. There's my core speed, 3504 megahertz. 8 times multiplier, bus speed of 438. So, and these are my idle temperatures, but it's fairly cool. Now my load temperatures do get pretty toasty, damn near 60 degrees, but that's also because I'm running this hot Antec Solo case. But anyway, one last note. Good lord, this will turn into like a 30 or 40 minute tutorial video. I do recommend that if you're starting to overclock, you grab yourself a copy of CPU-Z. Just Google CPU-Z and you'll find it. And RealTemp. A lot of people will be tempted to tell you to use CoreTemp, which is a different program, but CoreTemp is a little unstable, and it's also well known to report temperatures wrong on 45 nanometer chips. RealTemp is a great application. It's actually written by one of the members of the Hard LCP forums, if I remember this right, and so he's constantly updating it, and I really recommend it. It's very small, does what it's supposed to do, and doesn't cause any other problems. And of course you'll want to go and grab yourself a copy of Prime 95 so that you can stress test those overclocked CPUs of yours. If you're really brave, you can Google Intel burn test. And what Intel burn test is a program that's based off of Linpack, which is a Linux program. But what Linpack is and what Intel burn test is a program that Intel themselves actually use to stress test their CPUs. This will stress test your CPU 10 times worse than Prime 95 will. You want to test and see if you've got a stable overclock? Try Intel burn test. Not only will it tell you if your CPU is truly stable, like 100% stable, but it will root out any flaws in your cooling. I guarantee you, it pumped my, at this speed at 3.5 gigahertz, it pumped my core temperatures up to, oh hell, they were getting close to 90 degrees after 3 or 4 runs. And that was pretty damn dangerous. I was starting to see that distance to TJ Maxx numbers go into the single digits, which is pretty scary. Now granted, since I'm using this machine for everyday use and I'm not running Linpack constantly, I'm not too worried about having it overclocked and having it run at this speed. But like I said, if you want completely stable, or to verify that your machine is completely stable and check out how well your cooling really works, you might want to give Intel burn test a try. So that's it. I'm done. I took something that was originally supposed to take 10 minutes and fit on YouTube, and I turned it into something that's about 45 minutes, and it's going to be a 3 or 4 parter on YouTube. Hope it helps out somebody. See, oh yeah, how can I get away without, plugging our website? If you have any questions, comments, or if you're just looking for a cool place to hang out, please be sure and visit us at www.gamebeat.net. That's GAMEBEAT.net. It's a nice little group of folks that would really enjoy your company. So